several members this year what topic they wanted to hear about. Several mentioned natural disasters. And in some ways, you would think that this wouldn't be a typical topic for the Global Philanthropists Circle to explore. While we are working deeply in issues of poverty and inequity, we talk about systems change, we talk about being strategic, we talk about structural reasons for poverty and inequity, and in many ways, disaster seems to come upon us suddenly, and we respond, and that in some ways is in a different camp than some of the longer-term strategic interventions that many people in this room are working on in the areas of health and education and human rights.
The outpouring of the response in the immediate aftermath of the disaster was truly incredible. Now, as we move toward the rebuilding phase, philanthropists will be critical to ensuring that we can sustain this momentum for months and years to come. Philanthropy goes beyond just sending a check. There are opportunities for improving disaster preparedness, designing better buildings to withstand future storms, addressing the inequalities in education and healthcare that have held Haiti back. Professionals can lend their talents and transfer their knowledge to other professionals, including government employees in Haiti, as well as teachers, business owners, doctors, and lawyers. In order for Haiti to stand on its own 2 feet in the near future, without the aid of foreign donors, we must work alongside the government, NGOs, the private sector, and the Haitian diaspora worldwide to help provide the tools the people of Haiti need to lift themselves from tragedy and put themselves on a road to a better tomorrow.
This challenge of building back in general is very difficult. Building back better is proportionally as difficult as the preconditions were bad in the community. So rebuilding a relatively affluent community is a very different situation than trying to rebuild, say, the Gulf Coast after Katrina, or now Haiti after that extraordinary earthquake. So part of our ability, first to respond effectively, and secondly to recover and rebuild, is very much affected by the preconditional factors like poverty, like lack of access to health care and basic education and clean water and so forth. So it's a very complex problem, but in some ways that very notion of rebuilding better is the place where we can feel that there's an opportunity and a challenge in addition to just the tragedy that just occurred. One of the key roles to me of philanthropists is the capacity to keep ourselves focused on what needs to be done over a long period of time. We've done a lot of healthcare, over 100,000 visits with children and families, but the thing that's most troubling is that the children in the Gulf, for whom uncertainty and instability has become a way of life, are now going to have consequences which will affect them literally for the rest of their lives.
Aid is not a charity, and it's not to be given as a gift and welcomed with open arms. It's people have rights, and aid is to be given with those rights in mind and with dignity in mind, which is the basis of all human rights. So what are we trying to do? We want all of the aid organizations to set up a website. And in that website, so at the EU or USAID or the Clinton Foundation, the Clinton Foundation is now doing this, we want them to put up a website that says how much money has been promised, how much money is actually in the pipeline, usually a very different number. What are the projects that are going to be funded? Where can you find those projects on Google Maps? Very specific. What are the metrics by which those projects will be judged?
At the end of March, we had a hearing before the Inter-American Commission for Human Rights, and the Haitian government said that since the earthquake, this is the end of March, they had only received $10 million, and the money had come from Ghana, from Ivory Coast.
It's not even about rebuilding and building, it's about starting over in a lot of ways.
What we're trying to do is make sure that in all of the aid that goes forward, there is transparency, there's accountability, and there's local participation.
The reality is that charity is not a substitute for institution building and for recovery. Charity is something we do to save a life, and we must obviously continue to do that. But the really hard work, where big-time philanthropy has a very important role, is to be thinking always about the leave-behinds.